External, meadow afternoon, scene 1. Today we stand witness as the cats Salvador and Narfy are enjoying a day in the park. The sun shines on their union both literally and metaphorically, and it seems that all of nature has come out to join them. This is the kind of scene that would have made Walt Disney shit bricks, knowing that this kind of merriment existed outside of one of his movie pictures.
Oh, how I do love the meadow in springtime. My darling, my dear, my love. How is it that we could come to share in these local temperaments so mild and fair?
Oh, darling, my dear, my love. I don't think the narrator himself could have asked for better weather. Just look at the birds, how they dance, how they sing.
Such joy. It warms my fur. The only possible complaint would be that I could never possibly express the fullest extent of my love to you.
Salvador mimes a heart with his hands.
Who could possibly ask for a better companion? Or lover?
And I to you, my dear. Say, what's that in the distance?
I don't know. It's so tiny I can barely make it out. Do you think it would make a good friend?
Well, I would like to think so. Why don't we scamper over and say hello?
Salvador and Narfy proceed to scamper over to the mysterious figure. All the while, a beautiful melody begins to fill the air. The birds grow silent, and soon all that is heard is the operatic scene of the now clearly visible feline, who sits in the meadow before the thoroughly enchanted couple.
My God, have you ever heard anything so beautiful in your entire life? It's almost enough to make me fall to my knees weeping. I want to marry it.
The opera cat finishes his aria and turns to the couple who remain deeply enraptured. He smiles gently at them, and their eyes well up with salty joy. He opens his incorrectly anthropomorphized mouth to speak, and the pair hold their breath in anticipation.
You enjoyed my performance, yes?
Like a grown man eating his first sandwich of the day, Salvador sighs and simply smiles back at the entrancing creature.
Of course.
It was the most beautiful thing I've ever had the honor. The privilege.
Oh, well, thank you, ever so humbly. You know, I wasn't expecting an audience today. Such a pleasant surprise that you two happened to make your way over the hill. Despite the magnificence of the immediate acoustic surroundings, it does happen to get ever so lonely in this part of the valley.
Yes, well, I'm Salvador, and this is my lovely companion, Narfy.
It's short for Amy.
My name is Felix, and it is truly lovely to meet you both. No, truly. Especially you, Narfy.
Felix the cat bends down and takes Narfy's paw in that considerably antiquated but nonetheless beguiling manner that only seems to suit him like a suit so well, and places on it a single elegant kiss. He retreats, still bent at the waist, staring deeply and flirtatiously into the young girl's eyes. Salvador notices, and pulls his beloved ever so slightly closer to his person.
It was nice to meet you too, Felix.
As they turn to leave, Salvador looks over his shoulder to see the all-too-personable personage with his head lowered, eyes locked on his love, as if she were wrapped in nothing but a layer of skin-tight leather, and maybe with some boots, and a sandwich. Oh yeah, that's good. Anyways, he does begin to quicken his pace, though, his arm wrapped tightly around Narfy's shoulders. He leans in and quietly remarks to her,
I don't think I entirely like the way he was looking at you. It seemed to me he was looking for more than an audience of two. Like sex or something.
You don't know what you're talking about. He was very charming, yes. But you know I only have eyes and paws for you.
Just then, a rock popped out of the ground. It turns out that some asshole in Brazil boiled an egg. Then a rock popped out of the ground. I don't know. Go with it. The girl trips, falls, fails, bam!
Oh, dear!
My dear!
Salvador goes to catch his concubine. But all of a sudden, with emphasis... Right, nothing gets sentimental detail. And all of a sudden, a hot air balloon in the shape of a head of a feline from a popular and heavily trademarked Japanese anime television program swoops in, and who's behind the proverbial wheel? You guessed it, none other than Felix the cat, unaffiliated.
Dear God!
What's happening?
tell you what's happening. I'm stealing your bride, sir.
She's not my bride!
I'm not. Not married. Not even close. Only met a week ago. This is our second date.
Yeah, like she said.
Well, I don't care. I'm creepy and nefarious, and I'm taking her anyway. Give me my golden geisha, my prize to be beholden.
You're crazy!
Perhaps, but also taken, much like sweet Amy is soon to be.
Just then, Salvador pulls his attention from the megalomaniac in the blink to see that he is all too late to save his inamorata from the cold and forgiving clutches of the apparently well-equipped Felix's automatic cat girlfriend claw catcher device patent pending. She screams as she is pulled higher and higher into the heavens as this corrupted pseudo-cloud begins to ascend.
Salvador!
Narfy!
Felix laughs wildly as he makes his escape. Salvador collapses, falling to his knees knowing that his every effort is now in vain, as he watches the balloon whisk away the love of his life, the sight of them growing fainter and fainter with each passing second until, finally, they are no longer in his sight. Quiet sobbing is heard as Salvador instinctively gathers his breath, and in a moment of pure and utter desperation lets out an intensely cliched cry. Interior mountain face cabin bar, early morning. Scene 2. He, and by he I mean Salvador, took Narfy's passing over pretty hard. He started drinking a lot, and it seems like this is our dear old friend's rock bottom. We find him in a dingy bar on the bad side of the mountain, the only other patron being a white puffball dog, probably too young to really be drinking. Our hero has never looked so defeated. Salvador orders another scotch and just as quickly slams it back. The glass just as dry as it was a minute ago. Interior, dingy bar.
Bartender! More whiskey. I got $5 bill. It says, I'm gonna give it to you. You're gonna give me whiskey.
No way, man. You've had enough. I'm cutting you off.
No. Just one more whiskey. Come on, man.
I said no more. You're done, Salvador. Go home. You don't want to be sleeping in my gutters for damn sure.
Just give me whiskey.
The white dog that looks more like a newborn pup than is likely good for him slides his way up the bar and sits next to the deeply inebriated Salvador. They sit for a moment in what the dejected Salvador can only pretend is silence, and then the dog turns to our protagonist and begins to speak to him.
You know, I don't think there's a single person in here that hasn't seen some hard times. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what's so special about this little prick of a dog? Well, you wouldn't think it just by looking at me, but I'm a runt, you know? Kind of the edge of the collateral on the injection-molded biological poopings out that are my siblings. Sorry, I'm not that great with words. You'd think after 46 goddamn years I would be. What about you, Kat? Why are you in this particular refreshment center?
Well, the love of my life is sentimental and stupid singing cat come fly away and take her with him. Stupid cat.
No, I've actually seen it before.
The puffball dog puts his drink to the side and turns to our hero.
What you need to do is go after her, this,
Narfy.
Narfy. Right. So, you say she's the love of your life, right? Well, there's nothing at the bottom of these bottles that's gonna help you find her, help you hold her again. You need to get up. Go find her. Let her know that she means everything to you and that you'd go to the ends of the earth to make sure that she's okay.
You know what? Yeah. She's mine. I mean, mine. Whiskey's only good for making me drunk. And that's only on Christmas and Tuesdays.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get her.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get her.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her. Yeah!
So with his mojo wholly revitalized, our champion sets out with a goal. To find and rescue his beloved from the fearsome Felix. But where to begin? Meanwhile, at Felix's evil fortress of evil.
Scream. Plead.
By God! Woman! Silence yourself!
Scream. Plead. Oh, mister, please.
Woman! Would you please desist? Now!
Mister.
Ugh! Had I known you'd be so much trouble, I would have left you with that idiot cat in the meadow.
A very official-looking guard enters by way of Star Trek-looking whooshy door.
Sir, meow. The perimeter is secure. What are your orders?
What? No, nothing. Leave me alone.
So I leaves. I know that he didn't mean to be so curt and that he's had a stressful day, but still, it's not like we didn't go to Cancun last year and we didn't have so much super fun time on the beach with that bear couple from Sweden. Just, you know, once in a while I'd hope for a little bit of affection. I mean, whooshy door sound. Whoosh.
Ah. You know, my dear, things would be so much easier for you if you just accept the fact that your beloved Salvador isn't coming to save you. I could offer you anything and everything, you know, and I'm sure that the more you get to know me, the more you'd come to see that I'm really not such a bad guy.
I'll never give myself to you, dude cat. You may have the voice of an angel and the rock-soft fluff coat that makes women of all ages weak in the... But I will never submit.
Then things just get harder for you. I really hate to see such beauty go to waste, you know.
Well, thank you. But that's beside the point. Salvador will save me. I know we haven't known each other very long, but his heart is in the right place, and I know he'll find me.
My dear, the chance of that happening is slim to none. This fortress is on top of the tallest mountain in the land and is so well protected that not even hell could find a way in. The only visible marker of our location is an emergency flare on the landing pad, and that is only accessible by another hot air balloon.
Like the one outside right now?
What?
The two look out the conveniently placed bay window to the west to see, rising alongside the waxing moon, a smaller balloon than the one that they rode in on. This one is shaped like a horse. It's a very awkward balloon, not very aerodynamic. Suddenly, a red flare is seen tearing its way through the night sky, and Felix lets his jaw hang loose in disbelief. The flare explodes, and in an act of sheer coincidence, takes the shape of a woman's stick figure getting carried away in a hot air balloon by an insidious-looking stick figure whilst a desperate lover-looking stick figure looks on in desperation, all with an arrow pointing right at the fortress. Lucky. Exterior, mountain face, cabin bar, night. Scene 4. A sobering Salvador leans against the outside of the cabin and lights a cigarette. He's wearing a James Dean Rebel Without a Cause jacket and looks into the night with that ice-cold I don't give a fuck stare. A red flare, previously mentioned, flies overhead and pulls back the curtain of darkness. Also, it's pretty direct about what's going to happen next, and Salvador isn't that big of an idiot. His cigarette falls from his slackened mandible, and he begins to run to the source of the righteous beacon.
Narfy! I'm coming!
Exterior, Evil Fortress, night. Scene 5. One exhausting Pitspaloo-like climb later, and our hero is at the main gate of the Evil Fortress of Evil. Using his cat-like reflexes, he not so slowly scales the outer walls. But he doesn't go unseen, and no sooner than his paw touches the top of the battlements does a siren begin to ring out. The infantry comes out to play.
As if my day could get any worse. Bring it on, motherfuckers!
The sound of guns being cocked is heard, and an electro dubstep drop is primed for the audience. One short battle scene later, which is actually just a bunch of yells, Wilhelm screams, and explosions, we hear our adrenaline-fueled victor kick open a large set of doors, and the fierceful gasp of our villain alongside the welcoming relief of our damsel breaks the chaos. Funny, that couldn't have been more than 10 seconds of action. Now, you'd think that this mega base would... I mean, it's at the top of the tallest peak. It would have been protected more heavily.
You'd think, right? Unlimited muerto. Preposterous amounts of muerto.
Felix looks at his guard and dismisses them out of shame. He will deal with this intruder on his own.
You!
Me!
You!
You.
Not you! You!
Me? Me! No, him.
Me?
No, me! She's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady.
Talking about my little lady.
Me.
Whoa, and the lady is mine. This is an aside.
This is an aside for the guard.
Felix never sings with me anymore. Ever since Cancun, it seems like he's too ashamed to sing, at least with me. And this son of an African swallow just waltzes in and steals my spotlight. Mother swallow, I'm gonna make me a sandwich. Show them.
The guard's aside has ended. Intermission over. Please take your seats. Yeah, and mine with extra pastrami. Yeah, and chips. What is this, the Middle Ages? Oh, shit. What will happen next? Interior. Right where we left off.
So, can I maybe get a sandwich before we do this?
Aww. Yeah, sure. Kitchen to the hall, second rate. If you hit the armory, you've gone too far.
Cool. Meow. BRB. Bro.
Tick tock goes the battle royale clock with cheese.
Salvador makes his way casually to the kitchen. He sees the armory, but doesn't go too far. He opens the refrigerator and finds that, what? Narfy is inside, bound and gagged with a pre-made egg and crust sandwich. Perfect! He pulls the sandwich from her mouth and she begins to speak.
My love, that sandwich was made by an angry guard. It's his lunch for tomorrow.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a ham. I don't like mayonnaise.
There's none on it. I watched him make it. Nice guy. I think he's in love with Felix.
That's cool.
So, you gonna untie me, love? Oh, apple of my pie?
Can I eat the sandwich first?
Sure.
And Salvador ate that sandwich with gusto!
20 minutes later.
Good?
Yeah, it's all right. A bit too much mustard, but spicy's okay. Could have used a bit more trachea.
No one ever puts enough trachea. So, tie me?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Salvador unbinds his steady, and after a short reunion embrace, they make their way hurriedly back to the main chamber that Narfy was inexplicably moved from earlier to the fridge. There they find a patiently waiting Felix practicing lines for what appears to be a guest appearance on NBC's 30 Rock.
Tina, Baldwin, Faye, Alex, witty pun, it's a racial joke here, kid, it's an alien, aha! You're back! Now for the emotional climax. I shall end you!
Do what you will to me, but know this, Fluff Cat. Every strike you land on my person becomes a million sparks that only serve to fuel the fires of revenge. And every day that I take breath, I will burn in honor of my beloved Narfy. Nothing, above all you, will stand in the way of our shared love. Darest you think that your hatred holds a candle to the roaring fire that is our love metaphor? It is you that is sadly mistaken.
Had I only known that you did love your feline friend so much, I never would have interfered. My actions cannot be taken back, and I do regret them entirely. But my first performance, you enjoyed it, correct?
Well, yes.
I suppose we did.
Then let me begin to make amends. My friends, take my hot air balloon, the one that I accosted you with, a gift. Fly away from this wretched peak and never speak of me again. I deserve less than that. Please. and allow me to serenade you. It is the least I can do to let a love so flattering to the whole of passion and romantic interaction, to let it blossom and grow.
Well now, what a change of heart.
How can I trust you?
Sir, $1 million for you.
That works.
So, the conflict has been resolved! Hooray! They make their way to the landing pad, situated conveniently like a minute's walk from where they were. No description of the surroundings. Listen to the next scene! Evil Fortress of Evil landing pad. Dawn. Last scene. Debris is heard being scattered as our emotional enthusiasts climb into their wicker chariot. Their tormentor turned Confederate approaches the basket, and they turn to face him.
You put us through hell! You know that?
Speak up, you bastard!
The hills are alive!
No!
With the sounds of music!
With songs they have sung for 1,000 years.
You motherfuckers are gonna kill all my lilies!